Welcome to a web edition of Q's Countdown. I'm your host, Bailey Lipschultz, alongside Andrew Morris and Nick Dugan. Guys, Syracuse drops its game on Saturday against Georgetown, 79-72. It was Coach Hopkins' first game as the head coach. What did you see from him?
Well, I saw a pretty well-coached game given the circumstances. Let's remember, he had just 2 days' notice to prepare this team against a tough Georgetown team. Remember, with that suspension time frame moved up. And I thought he did a good job, all things considered. He really held his own. His game plan didn't change much from Boeheim's, but all things considered, in that hostile D.C. crowd, a good game from him.
Yeah, I think he did pretty well as well. You saw the emotion in the post-game press conference. Really wanted to do well for one of his mentors in Jim Boeheim. And he had his guys playing as hard as they could until the final buzzer, and I think that that's really going to carry over into these next couple of games that Hopkins has the head coaching job.
The players definitely cared and gave a lot of energy, but looking at that loss compared to other losses on the year, Syracuse got dominated on the boards and did not shoot as well from three-point range. What stands out about Syracuse when it wins versus when it loses most?
Well, you saw it in the Georgetown game, in which I thought was their worst game. They just didn't move the ball. It was a very slow, unenergized offense, which is weird because you were expecting them to come in and play hard for Boeheim, but they just didn't move the ball well, and they honestly settled for shots, Cooney, Benajay included. They settled for pretty deep threes.
Yeah, and I think where the real problem was giving up too many easy buckets down low against Wisconsin and Georgetown. Ethan Happ, the freshman center for Wisconsin, had near 20 points, and the center for Georgetown with a career high, Bradley Hayes. He had a career high against the Orange on Saturday, and I think that it's just been far too easy for the taller opponents to score on a smaller Syracuse defense.
Going from a hostile environment in D.C. against Georgetown on Saturday, now Syracuse hosts Colgate, a team just about an hour and a half away. What is your X factor for that game?
Well, it's going to have to be up to Benajay and Cooney, the senior leadership here, to right the ship and get them back to playing their style of game and get them through, if any, forms of adversity that come up in this Colgate game. It's going to be a home crowd, so it's going to be a little easier of a test, a lot lower expectations here, but it's going to be Cooney and Benajay, the ones that need to lead the charge and kind of calm this team down and right the ship.
My X factor, usually our X factor is something extraordinary, maybe that's going to happen or something that needs to happen. I think Syracuse just needs to get back to the basics in this game, work the ball around on offense, find the open shot on defense, stay in the passing lane, stay energized, try and maybe figure out the better combination between Leiden and Coleman in this game. I think that that's going to be key for the Orange moving forward in order to get some victories.
You both referenced Syracuse doing the little things to get back on track. Come when the clock strikes zero, what is your final score prediction?
My final score prediction, 78-62. Syracuse takes this one against Colgate. I think Coach Hopkins has one game under his belt. He's going to have his game plan ready. Back in a home environment, his players, as I mentioned, playing hard for him already. I think that the Syracuse Orange secure a win in this game.
Yeah, and I'm going to put a win here, too. Syracuse coming in a 21.5-point favorite against Colgate. For good reasons. Colgate hasn't won since 1962. I'm going to go 85-70, a little under the line here. And I think that, yes, Syracuse does get back on track. It's going to be a nice home crowd for Syracuse, a proverbial bowl of chicken noodle soup, exactly what the doctor ordered. Hopkins has enough time now to game plan with his team. Now he's taken over the reins. I think Syracuse is going to have an easy time here.
Both of our analysts have Syracuse winning heavily in double digits when they take on Colgate again tomorrow night at the Carrier Dome. Be sure to follow us on Twitter and on Instagram at CitrusTV Sports for updates throughout the game and post-game. Be sure to come back to this YouTube page at CitrusTV Sports. For Nick Dugan and Andrew Morris, I'm Bailey Lipschultz. Thanks for watching.